Hello, and welcome to Roll for Review, where we're going to take a look at the very best in tabletop role-playing games crowdfunding. This week, we're looking at Kickstarter campaigns that launched in the first half of March. Thanks for being with us, everybody out there. How do we feel about like the low, subdue, like
that was
Loveline
weird.
vibe?
I don't like it.
It was kind of like we're listening to like some NPR, like, hey, now we're gonna be listening to some smooth jazz. Right?
It works. It's late night talk show host status here. We're so late starting.
when that I felt like it was like a more subdued vibe since we're getting started a little later. But when you were kids, did you ever like hear on the radio like late at night, like Loveline or whatever it was, where like the host would always get like real close to the mic and be like, hello, today we've got callers in, you know, like I was just trying to like go for that. Anyways,
yeah, I didn't like those either.
I'm Joe. I am the creator of the Wanderer's Guide, and I make board games for a living, so that's what I do. Nice. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Hello, humanoids. I'm Hannah, also known as Halfling Hannah, and I am a forever DM and a DM resource creator on YouTube, Patreon, and my website, halflinghobbies.com.
And hello, my name is Alex. I'm a designer and marketer for the Wanderer's Guide and everyday RPG player and gamer.
And this is Roll for Review, where the three of us like to throw out crowdfunded RPGs like a warlock throws out Eldritch Blast. We have gathered all the TTRPG related Kickstarters during this period of time, and each of us has chosen our three favorites. What we're going to do in the course of this hour is we are each going to show off our three chosen Kickstarter campaigns. And we're going to talk about the great things about it, what we think is the best level to pledge at, as well as some discussion. And then we're going to give it a roll for review. This is the number on a D20 that we feel like this Kickstarter has rolled based on many, many factors. And we could even give it some modifiers, positive or negative, giving it an overall roll for review. And you're definitely going to want to stay around to the end of this one because we have our fun finds. And that's where we have searched the interwebs for anything RPG related that tickled our fancy. And we will show those off at the very end of this little show here.
Absolutely, and those of you who end up loving what you hear, you can find us here every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central, or in this case, a little bit later. Also, these videos will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so if you are currently watching this on YouTube, thank you so much, and if you ever want to catch us live, come to our Twitch channel at 7:30 Central Time.
Absolutely, and Joe always gets us started. I kind of want to try that radio voice. Can I get a little...
Try the radio voice.
Joe's gonna... start us off here tonight.
So I've got to say, of all of the weeks that we've been doing this now, this was by far, for me personally, the hardest week because I feel I could have easily chosen another 3 projects. Like easily could have chosen another 3 projects that I would have loved to talk about. But
honestly, we could have done all of them. It would have been a really long show, but they're all that good.
A lot of great stuff on Kickstarter right now. So even if you hear about these projects, go check them out. Take a look around, scroll through some of the popular projects, see what's out there. A lot of really good stuff. But we're not going to be able to cover everything. But we are going to cover what we consider some of the best, most interesting projects on Kickstarter right now. So I'm going to start us off. And the very first project that I'm going to talk about, I am super excited about. It is called, very simply, Airship Campaigns. Right? Not flashy. They're not trying to be they're not trying to beat you over the head with this. They're just letting you know what you're in for. Airship Campaigns. All right? This is 5th edition rules for Airship Campaigns in any fantasy setting and fantastic creature STLs. So the STL is a big component of this, and I'm sure as Alex is going to be perusing the page, we're going to take a look at some really fantastic STLs that we have here. But the reason for that is because this is from a company called Arcane Minis, who launched their first Kickstarter, which was all STLs. And we've talked about a couple of different cool STL projects here on Roll for Review. That's what they started out doing. And then their STLs were so loved that they decided to take a lot of the like airships and, you know, creatures that they had done in that campaign and bring it into this like airship like campaign setting that they're creating, which is something that's, you know, sorely missed. And here's the thing. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about this. The campaign's doing great. Over $200,000 raised, over 3,000 backers. It's blowing up. Why?
Yeah.
But why? Why? Because people love airships. People love
this is what we want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because let's face it, what is the best thing? And maybe you disagree, but what's the best thing about having airships in your campaign? You eliminate the need for travel.
That's what I was hoping you were going to say, because that's what I wanted to say. No travel.
You move from plot point to plot point to plot point, right?
It's a fast
and
travel.
Guess what? If you ever have a need for you to not make it to the next destination city, guess what? Mechanical failure. Now you're stranded in the wilderness. So guess what?
Fix it. Find parts.
Air pirates.
So, like, I'm sure there are plenty of things that can happen that you can still introduce different plot points, but basically the mundaneness of traveling in an RPG campaign is pretty much eliminated. And I have to say, like, I'm not a huge fan of DMing travel because I feel like I should be doing something, but I always kind of feel like I just want them to move as fast as they want to.
Walk faster.
And yeah, sometimes I'm like I'll basically introduce an event that I want to happen, but like I don't sit here with like a random table of like wilderness events and just roll for like random stuff to happen to them in the woods and stuff like that. I basically will just ask them, hey, if I don't have anything planned, I'll just ask, does the party want to fast forward to the city that you're traveling to? Like I will let my players fast forward right through like a lot of the traveling portions. And like even recently, the campaign I've been playing, we got to like the major capital city of like the part of the world that we're in, and we've spent like 7 sessions there already because like there's a lot to do in a city, and there's not that much to do at a campsite in the woods. So we're getting way off track here.
Yeah.
Airships. Right. Airships. This is very loosely based on a campaign setting, which will be coming. So this is not the campaign setting. This is rules for putting airships into your campaign if you play 5th edition D&D, okay? But there will be a bigger campaign setting based upon this called the Skies of Sordain. So that's something that you have to look forward to. But what you can expect with this is 150 pages of airships, campaign and battle rules for all of those, creature stats, and here's something really cool, printable digital battle maps of a bunch of different airships, which is awesome.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now and the other thing that you really can get excited about in this campaign, if that's your jam, is they have some fantastic 3D printable STL files that you can download on this campaign and put into your 3D printer. And
heavy breathing intensifies.
Cue heavy breathing.
You can hear like Alex has like 6 printers at his house, and you can just like hear them whirling out in the background, right?
Oh my god, these are awesome.
Like, I look through this page,
They're very detailed.
And I look at the in the book section, right? The in the book section, and you can see just the page layouts. They have some fantastic artists working on this. Some really good layouts. You can see the ships, and kind of they have that really cool like cross-cut section. You can see the monsters, these magical items. The things that are in this are just incredibly cool and incredibly unique, and something that I really feel you want to have in a campaign, because if you're looking at running a slightly futuristic campaign, or at least like a high-tech, high fantasy setting of fantasy, airships needs to be a component of it, okay? There needs to be airship travel, And I think having a really good, robust rule system and battle system is something that's going to really, really help you. I could
Joe,
look
are
at...
you looking at Alex right now?
He's just, yeah.
Just look at his face.
I'm just staring at the miniatures.
He's just
They have a little
They're
mini
really
robot
good.
that's a cook.
They do.
I can download that for
my
free and print it right
gosh.
now if I wanted to. I
Did
don't
you
even have
see
to
the
back
dragon that's holding onto a broken mast? Like, oh,
It's all incredible. Oh my
these
god.
are incredible. Dude, and this is, I feel like this is a must have, like it's a must buy if you're running Eberron. This goes hand in hand with Eberron. This would be perfect.
I can't stop looking at these.
They're so
I
pretty.
can't stop looking at these. There is one, however, like right below STLs. I need to point this out, but the one on the far right that's just kind of looking out. It's on the very far right. It's in the top. It's the top one. It kind of looks like it has a very pained existence.
Oh. Oh.
It's like,
Oh.
All right. So
Oh my gosh.
let's talk about the value, right? Let's talk about the value.
yeah,
I'm not an STL guy, right? I just want
there's
the
huge
book
value here.
and the
Just putting
digital
it out there.
maps, right? I want the book and the maps. $55, right? That's great.
Okay,
Good
okay.
stuff there.
Yep.
But if you really want to get like this 70 STLs, all pre-sculpted, right? And these guys know what they're doing when it comes to their STLs. You can go all in and get the STLs and the PDF book and the physical book for $100, which is just absolutely phenomenal value. It's so good. So if this is something that's interesting to you, if you are interested in putting airships into your campaign, $100, okay? This is a great looking product, guys. It looks beautiful. You know what you're getting. I feel like they're not biting off more than they can chew. And you know what the really cool thing is? The reason that they're doing this book is because in their last campaign, because they had these like airship STL files that they were selling as just kind of a miniatures pack, they sold a PDF, and so many people bought the PDF that they said, well, we're just going to print a physical book.
Mhm.
So I think that this is really cool. A lot of great content,
It's
a
very
lot of
cool.
beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
This is getting a solid 18 from me, guys. Just a solid big hit. Good roll. The reason it's not a little bit higher, which it's still very, very high, but the reason it's not a little bit higher is because it's not for everybody, right? And it's very specific. It does one task very well and very specifically, but if you are not interested in that one bit of minutia in your campaigns, then this book really does not have a lot of use for you. But I think it does get a little bit of a higher roll because those STLs are just absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it
Super
an
cool.
18.
That being said, you can also
that's-
just pledge $55 for the STLs themselves if you don't want the book.
Ooh. I get
Yeah.
70?
70
70.
STLs. I might just do that because of
Wow.
how much I love printing miniatures. So
And they're
Yeah.
really cool.
and they're very cool.
Awesome.
That's
We'll do a
awesome.
show and tell with
That's so
Alex
good.
where you can show off some of the STLs.
I should actually.
Ah.
All right. Well,
We
that
couldn't
is-
plan this better. We really didn't plan this. It just kind of happened, but we are going literally from the skies into underground. We are gonna go opposite with mine. Oh, are you? Were you done? I feel rude.
Yeah. I'm absolutely done.
Okay, cool. It just occurred to me. I was like, I might have just cut him off.
I think we just
But
lost
we
Joe,
are
too.
gonna go. No, Joe, come back.
Hey, I'm still here.
Yay, Joe's back. Okay. All right, so we are doing Survivalist Guide to Spelunking for D&D 5th edition for mine.
Keep
Joe's
going.
coming in. Okay, well, let's keep going. So this is all about spelunking, which is going through underground caverns and caves. This is a book that is like your definitive guide to the underworld, specifically in kind of the lens of surviving through it, which I think is incredibly awesome. We have so many resources for a lot of other things and a lot of other areas in Dungeons and Dragons, but the like the Underdark is severely lacking unless you go all the way into like Out of the Abyss, and you run that full campaign. You have that campaign book that gives you a lot. But if you don't have that and you don't want to go that depth, you just want to run a couple caverns, or you want to do some underground stuff, then you are going to want this survival guide. Now, it is doing quite well. It's at $64,000, well over its initial goal. And it is by a very well-reputed company, AAW Games. I mean, they've done quite a bit of stuff. And so I think this is going to be really good. But the real big part about this is that they have Douglas Niles, who, if you are an advanced Dungeons and Dragons fan, he is the original Dungeoneer's Survival Guide author. So they've brought him in on this project, so you can guarantee that this is going to have that classic old school D&D feel to it. It's got I think over 100 different tables for you to go through and roll on. It's got lore. It's got literally everything that you could possibly want for cavern systems. If your players are as nosy as mine are and end up in very weird places, this might actually save you a lot of the times in figuring out a session that suddenly has gone underground. So this is an incredible book that is an additional resource to help with specific things in your campaign like that. They have unlocked several things with it. They've got some fun comics that are throughout it. They have the adventures. So they've got some like hex style adventures for underground, and a lot of other just generally very, very useful things for this. And that's part of the reason why I picked it. Is it's an underserved area. It's very useful. It's by a D&D classic author. You know it's going to be good, and it's by a reputable source. I really don't think you can go wrong with this. And the price is right, because you can get a hardcover and a PDF for $29.
Oh wow, that's a really good price.
It is.
This is slightly my nightmare fuel, though. This is
really? You don't like underground?
I don't like underground or underwater. It's just.
What about underground?
Nope. That's big nope. That's big old nope. Nope for me.
I love caverns.
But Alex, didn't you go swimming in the cenotes with us?
See, yeah, that I didn't look. It was super deep, but I could see all the way down. I could see all the way down.
Yeah, there's a difference, because I don't like the ocean, but I'm okay if I can see.
If I could see, I'm fine.
You know?
But
so,
it's like
snorkeling, I'm good.
If I'm like scuba diving and it's like pitch black, and all of a sudden I turn around, and, hey, there's a whale. I've now soiled myself.
So me and Alex took a trip to Mexico, and we went and swam in a cenotes, which is a giant underground cave where the bottom is like 300 feet. So like if you just can't swim anymore, you're dead.
Yep.
Yeah,
See,
it was incredible.
But that's also like big. It's not like an enclosed space. I feel like it's pretty like big. Small space would be much, much worse.
Yeah, it was really, really big, but it was also like extremely terrifying.
But could you imagine
it did go down
how cool
far.
It would be though if you like described that in your D&D campaign, like underground systems and caverns like that, and incorporating that in is they have to find that item that is 300 feet at the bottom and it looks like it's not. And they just keep swimming.
Speaking of a little quick plug here, I believe that both of you got a look at one of the newest maps for the Wanderers Guide that we got a couple weeks ago. And Andrew did a cavern system map, and it is incredible.
Gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And it may or may not have kind of inspired my direction, because I will be using that map. And so I need a little help in what exactly to put in that map. So
perfect.
I think that this is just a really cool resource that is for the price is great for an additional supplement, because for a little supplement, you do not want to spend the amount that you spend on a campaign book. That's ridiculous. So this, I think, is perfect right where it's at. It's kind of cool that one of the things that they unlocked is it has a cloth cover. So it feels like canvas, like you would paint on. Yeah, so I'm a textile person. I like I like things that feel cool. So I'm super excited to get my hands literally on that. But the inside is black and white, which is part of why the cost is so low. So this isn't exactly something that you're getting to stare at the artwork. This is something that is practical and useful, and they kept that in mind to keep the price low, which kudos to them. I think it was an excellent choice.
And the comics are a nice touch. The comics are a really nice touch.
Yeah,
exactly. I thought they're fun, a little lightheartedness to it. Some of the things that will be included in this array of module tools to customize your game is cave types. So if you're not a person who's well versed in the different kinds of caves, because to me they're just a hole in the ground, it will educate you on that. Climbing tools and rules, which I always forget. Designing, mapping, and running 3D environments. Momentum and chases, mining materials, and exotic ores. Wouldn't have thought of that. Super useful. Tracking supplies, foraging and hunting underground. Spell casting and combat maneuvers underground. Tactical combat puzzles. Hazard generators, expanded light and darkness, like breath engine for exploring flooded caverns or spore-choked jungles, hypothermia, exotic infections like shroomitis.
Oh my god!
I just love the lethal hazards of Elementor border regions, so like lava and things like that. And then finally a glimpse at the abyss or the upper regions of hell.
Products like this remind me how little effort I put in as a dungeon master.
I know. But there are those moments when I have like a free hour or two that I will just Google, what are some different crops that could be growing? Like I had a whole Milo field and I know way too much about Milo now to create this entire economy around Milo in this tiny little village. So it's kind of like that. If you're one of those DMs, this is perfect for you. I am super excited about it. I think it's going to be just incredibly useful. The price is right. I rolled up on this and I got, what did I put? 16 is what I got for this. It's a solid roll. It's not going to blow your mind with its artwork, but it is incredibly functional and I love it for that. I'm excited about it. So I got a 16 on there.
Yep. Great pick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, mine is not going to be the most in-depth thing you're going to be looking for, like one of these types of tools. This is a little bit more of a little fun desktop thing, if I could describe it that way. It is the 2022 Quest Calendar, an adventure a day RPG. So it has the depth of what you would expect to be that can fit on a calendar, right?
Yeah.
But it's super cool. So it's a role-playing calendar that takes you on a journey with a quest a day throughout 2022. And it's doing extremely well. It's by Sundial Games, LLC. And of their $9,000 goal, they've already raised $91,000.
Nice.
With over 2,000 people backing it. And it's super, super fun. It's a single-player game that allows you to take a couple minutes a day running through like a story of a role-playing game, right? So story-driven adventure it's essentially told day by day. It's got quests, loot items, characters, combat, and it's all run every day on each page of the calendar. Which is super, super cool. So it has obviously 626 pages. Weekends are combined. 313 artwork images. 313 resolutions pages. Tokens, rules, and characters. So it has all of this on a little mini calendar. It is only about that big. It's one of those desktop calendars. It has a hero book that comes along with it. It's spiral bound. It has laminated character sheets, 46 pages. You can get a dice tray, a dice tower, a dice scroll, metal dice. It has all these stuff you can get with it. And it's super cool. It's like your own little mini one full story kind of, it's kind of like that legacy game role-playing game. It's like your own, it's like combining a little bit of D&D tabletop with a little bit of like tabletop. And it's just super interesting. I thought this was just super fun, a fun way to just kind of wake up. Oh, let's check out my story for the day. And that's just the kind of thing you do during your workday.
Love that. I love that. That is such a good way to stay creative and stay like coming up with interesting ideas as a DM, because we get a little burnt out on those different things. So that's a great way to do that. I love it.
Right?
This is fantastic. I love stuff like this. And I think that, like, if you're somebody that wants to improve your DM skills, right, like setting aside like a 10 to 15 minute block every day of just like, I'm going to sit down and like put some thought into being a dungeon master. This is a good thing to just pull up and like just like run through and get your juices flowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's like a warm up to dungeon mastering.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what you'll do is you'll choose your character to play for the remainder of the journey, so the entire year. And you follow 3 rules: read, roll, and resolve. That's it. And so it follows that story. So you tear off the previous day, read what your hero has encountered, enjoy the art, roll to resolve what you need to resolve that's on that day for the story, and then officially resolve it via the on the back of the previous day. So on the back of it, it'll actually tell you how to resolve it. Based on, so for example, on this page that I'm showing, it says A, accept the dwarf's offer and pay 10 gold. B, persuade him to give up the details to help save a life. So it has an example page here that's kind of showing you some of the things you can take. For combat, you have little combat charts on there that you can write on to do certain damage and things like that. It's super, super cool. You can level up your character throughout the year. So it's super, super fun, super creative.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah, and so to back this, now how much does it cost, right? 1 copy of the entire calendar, a set of the Kickstarter exclusive mini dice, and a PNP PDF. $22.
Done.
22
I'll
bucks.
take 2.
Right?
So good.
Yeah.
So easy, so
Love
simple. 1 copy of the quest calendar and laminated hero book, because it actually doesn't come with the hero book for the base 22 version, is $34. I would suggest the $34 for the hero book, because you want to be able to track your hero and things like that. So I would say go for the $34 just to get everything all together and be ready to go. So overall, we got to give this a roll. So this is what I'm thinking. I think overall, this is really well thought out. It's really simple, it's really fun, and it's a really unique product. And that shows with how many people are backing it. So based on that, I'm going to give it a 19. Then I'm going to give it a +1 for just straight up creativity. I just think the idea as a product is so
it's not a nat 20, but it's a 20.
It's a 20.
Yeah, we call that an unnatural.
Not a nat 20, but I would say it's a 20. I think I think it's hard enough to get as much as you can out of a calendar, right? It's still a calendar, and at the same time, there's just looking at this page. There's not a ton of what the story is, and I feel like I want to know a little bit more about what that is about. I kind of want to. That's kind of, because this could just be something that doesn't have a ton of depth to it. Obviously, it's a calendar. You don't really know. So I didn't feel comfortable just going, yes, 20, perfect, let's go. I still had some questions, and that was really it.
I think you don't see this kind of product every day, which is extremely special, right? We look at projects every weekend. Not that they all run together. Every project is special and has its own uniqueness to it. But this is very innovative.
It is.
Really unique, really special.
Yeah.
But I also think the other thing about this is, right, you just tear off the day and then do what the day says.
Exactly.
I mean, this will be the most on rails type of campaign you're ever going to play.
You have
it's
certain
not
things.
like there's a ton of it looks like you make decisions and roll for outcomes and stuff like that, and that affects your stats or your character, your loot or whatever. But like overall, everybody's doing the same stuff every day, but that's part of the charm of it too. You can't make a giant narrative.
It's
with
a calendar.
This, but very cool
but
idea.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
I love it.
So that is our first 3. So we are going to take a quick break to hear from one of our hosts herself, and we'll be back in about a minute.
Hello. Humanoids, I'm Halfling Hannah, the creator behind Halfling Hobbies. And here at Halfling Hobbies, you are going to find DM resources and only DM resources. We are here for dungeon masters, creating all sorts of things from puzzle templates and downloadable puzzles to DM binder pages, NPCs, loot cards, everything that you could possibly need to help give your game advantage. All of it comes with a healthy serving of food and drink, along with that special halfling hospitality. So grab a mug of ale and a slice of cake, sit back, relax, and dig in to Halfling Hobbies.
Hey, welcome back, all you cool cats and kittens out there.
No.
Hey, welcome back.
I preferred the little Bostonian boy that you did.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Like that better.
Yeah. Sad fact, he almost died in our last campaign.
He did almost die.
How
in our
dare you,
campaign.
Alex?
Well, technically, he did die.
How dare you, Alex? Did you take him along on a quest or something?
It wasn't my idea.
willfully
I will go ahead and
endanger
say
a
it wasn't
child's
my
life?
idea.
They used him as live bait.
It was not. My,
Draw
it wasn't
out
my
a
idea.
child
I
to draw out
Oh
a
my
child
God.
trafficker.
I'm sorry. You did what?
ask Joe what my face was the entire time this plan was coming together,
yeah.
and I was going, nope, this is a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Alex was mortified.
I was
but
not okay with it.
Thank goodness for our level 5 cleric being able to cast Revivify at the, right at the right time.
Because he was dead.
So-
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The
Yep.
disappointment.
All right.
On that note,
Anyways, speaking of dead children, we're gonna talk.
That's a perfect segue.
segues are cool.
We're gonna talk about remarkable cults and their followers. A GM guide for any RPG. The ultimate game master's guide for role-playing dark cults, factions, and their leaders. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this company because this is from a company called Loresmith, and I really like this company. They are fantastic and put out a lot of really fantastic products, ranging from all different kinds of stuff. This is their 11th project. They know what they're doing. They have over 3,000 backers, very loyal fan base, over $150,000 raise for this product already. But I want to talk a little bit about this because this is their third book in what they call their Remarkable series. Okay. And I'm sorry, I don't know why I put quotes around that, but their Remarkable series. So their first book was Remarkable Inns and the drinks that they serve, Remarkable Shops and the items they sell, and now Remarkable Cults and their followers. Okay. So they do this they basically create these books that have these very interesting, unique settings or, people groups or something like that. Right. And so I've been following their work for a little bit, and I think that they do fantastic product. They're a company based out of the Netherlands, and they're just very dedicated people that are super passionate about their craft. We looked at a tavern book last week, the Twisted Taverns, that raised over $1 million. Right? This is not them. These are just some dedicated RPG players that just keep doing their work, putting it out there, building an audience, building a fan base. Haven't seen that huge pop yet, but really just kind of putting the work in, putting their passion and hearts into what they're doing. And their products are really cool and speak for themselves. This product is very interesting and very unique. And one thing that I really like about it is that they break it up into 4 distinct parts within this book. So they have part 1, and they go into deep descriptions of 8 different unique cults that you can put into your game. So they give you backstory and history and all of this stuff about 8 different unique cults. So you can kind of look at them, mix and match, take and add things that you like or don't like from them. But you're basically getting 8 pre-made cults to just put into your game, right? Number 2, They give you tips and tricks on how to introduce cults in your game, how to play with cults as a part of your game, right? Because some people just treat them all the same, but this really goes into the motives. Yeah, exactly. This really goes into like the motives.
Such a weird sentence. Oh, it's a cult. Some people just treat them normally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a lot of tips and tricks about how to play with them in your campaign. Part number 3 is how to create your own cult, right? And this is for in a campaign. I'm going to specify in a campaign.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do
this.
this.
Your own cult.
And now, part number 4.
It's probably quite simple.
Part number 4, which is why I'm backing it, because I feel like as a DM I'm about to have to deal with this, is what to do if your player starts their own cult.
Yes.
We're not far. We're not far.
Yeah, so every time one of my players finds like some poor or dejected or like on the verge of death, like either feral monsters or just like poor hobos or like urchin children, he basically just like recruits them to this like weird army he's building, and he has not like at all decided what's going on, but he just keeps like leaving them in these like desolate places and being like, I'm your leader, I'm your father, you serve me now, and then he just kind of leaves them. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens here.
It's the island of misfit toys in an army.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I feel like I'm going to have to figure out what happens when my player decides he's going to become a cult leader, right? So, this...
Yeah, you're going to need this book.
You look at this product, and you scroll through, and you know exactly what you're getting. Like, you know that you're going to get great content. You know this is going to be a good read. This is going to be very informative. If this is something that you've had trouble with, or you're more interested in, is like adding like actual unique cults to your game, this is something that would be very beneficial to having. I want to take a little bit of a second and talk about some of the stretch goals they've unlocked. Cult leader profiles, very cool, right? Infernal weapons and armor, all right? Very, very, very cool as well. Another thing that they have, cult stronghold maps. Oh,
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
I mean,
maps.
Maps.
We need to get like an emoji just like pops up every time like there's like maps, just like.
Oh, I'll work on it.
He'll just be spamming it the whole time.
I'll work on it.
But I'm really
every time Joe presents something.
And here's where I'm at with this product, right? It's great. It looks great. It feels great. But I'm really interested in like seeing the type of work that these people put out. I don't own any of their products, so I can't speak to it yet. But to own the hardcover version of this book cost only $36.
Wow.
We were talking about a good price point. This is really good. But guess what? For the same price, you could get the PDF and the soft cover. I love when they make an option for the soft cover.
Wow.
For $24, you can just get the soft cover book, right? Like they've got options here. But now
that is nice.
Let's talk about the other option that they have. For a mere $196,
oh boy,
you can get all of the products that Laura Smith has released to date. So you can get Remarkable Shots, Remarkable Inns, Remarkable Cults, The Claws of Madness, Whispers of the Void, quest decks, all of these special things, special dice, and all this. You can just get a box full of just like RPG goodness shipped to your house. Why not? If you don't,
I want that goblet.
Yeah, I was gonna say the goblet.
I want it. It's super cool.
Well, I backed at the Overlord bundle, so
You
we'll
did?
do.
There it is.
So I have a sickness. I have a sickness, and I don't want any help. We'll do an unboxing when this comes in. Take a look at the product.
You have to just pull it out. A random one shot that we do. Just pull out that goblet and just like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe
Don't
the
tell
Jane
anyone.
Austen. You can play like any evil lord or something and just sip from your goblet.
I love it. I love it.
So
This
good.
stuff is really good, and honestly, I'm sitting at the exact same place I was last time. This is just a solid 18. It's not it's not a perfect product because it is very specific. You know, it is not universal, as they say. But and I will also say, creating a cult on the fly and like putting them into your campaign, not the hardest thing in the world. Like honestly, like I feel like if you've been DMing for a little bit, like you put a cult in your game, like it's not
Plug my YouTube channel here because I just recently released a video all about cults and how to put cults into your campaign.
Yeah,
because
so
it's one of my favorite things. So yeah,
I feel it's not something that does need an entire book, but I feel like this book will be a good read and be very useful for people to like really put some depth. And this is like if you want to start a campaign and you want your BBEG to be to be a cult, right? Like this cult that's like taking over everything or infiltrating like all manner of society. This is a good book to get to really build the foundations of that kind of a campaign on it. So solid 18 roll from me. Lore Smith, they're putting out good stuff. Really excited about this company and their products. 18, good roll.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Very nice.
Very cool. My next one does go a little more universal and in general because it's Valhalla Darkraven Fantasy Soundscapes for virtual gaming. This has raised the modest amount, but still over their goal of $6,000. Their goal was $1,000. They have a whole bunch, like Darkraven Games has a whole bunch of things that they've created, mostly around soundtracks and music. And what this is exactly what it sounds like. It is a whole bunch of really nice looping soundtracks for your virtual gaming. So you can just play in the background of your games. They have all sorts of them on here. If you want to go in and they have a sample video that they play 38 different ones on that sample video.
Wow.
And I just played it. It's like 18 minutes long. I just played it earlier this afternoon, and there are some of them in there that I was like, I could just like write to this, you know? I could just like put this on. It had just a little bit of an evil tone to it. I was like, this is DMing music if I've ever heard any of like writing my campaign. But they have all sorts of things from graveyards to battlefields to prisons and cave systems. They have all sorts of soundscapes. One of the things that I love the most is they have some tavern soundscapes that actually have unique songs in them. So it's not just this constant looping of the same little chord or whatever. They are actual songs. There are 12 different songs that play in this tavern when your players are there, which I absolutely love. They've got cityscapes where there's, you know, different sounds going on and people talking in other languages so that it really feels like a large city kind of feel to it. And again, it loops. This is if you... So there's different bundles that you can get. If you just want to get in at the Valhalla level, you're looking at $59, which is my one gripe with this is that it's a little bit expensive. But I think that we feel like it's expensive because we're not used to paying for music anymore.
That's also true.
There was a time when you didn't mind shelling out $29 for a new CD. You know what I mean? But now very few people are willing to do that with things like Spotify, or what I currently use is DMDJ, which I absolutely love. It's an app. It's $4.99, and it's one of those that you can mix. It's a mixer. So you can mix music and landscape stuff and everything else. But it's an app on my phone, and I can't do anything else on my phone if I have that going. This, however, you can put on your computer and it can just be going the entire time, and it loops by itself and you don't have to change it as much, which I love. So it is a bit expensive, but I think it's expensive. Like, it feels expensive because we're not used to paying for music. But when you actually think about this, it's over 25 hours worth
that's
of
a lot of
looping
music.
It's a lot of music.
Yeah,
And a lot of different kinds.
Yeah, I usually will have music on in the background when we're playing. When like Joe's DMing, I'll like have music on in the background because I don't believe everyone loves music in our group. I obviously, that like I've talked about in previous episodes, I like love the full immersion. I'll change the lighting. As you can see, some of the lighting behind me. I'll add music. I'll do all that kind of stuff. So I've always been trying to find, specifically, like you said, tavern sounds are like impossible to find. There's like no tavern music. There's nothing
Fantasy
like that. So
in general
really cool.
is so hard to find.
Yeah.
Like, if you're who loves the full immersion like we do, and you've tried, like I've tried Google Play, I've tried YouTube stuff, I've searched for things. And the problem is they're hard to find. 2, they don't loop, so you have to constantly go in and click things. And then 3, if you find an app that works for you like I did, then it's completely using your phone the entire time. You can't text your players, secret messages, you can't do that stuff. This is the solution to it, and I love it, and I really love the idea of RPG music, and I want RPG music to be a thing. Like, I really do. I want settings to come with music, you know? Like, I want that to be a part of it, not like an afterthought. And with this, they are so good at what they do. Incredibly good at what they do. It sounds amazing. It's super useful. It is a bit more expensive, but you're gonna use it every session.
Yeah.
There's enough difference and variety in this that you will use it every single session, and it's totally, totally worth it. 100%. My level that I would back at is 59. That's your silver. That gets you the Valhalla virtual edition, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So their silver special that they have going on is, if you back at silver, I think it's at the very top. Yeah, if you back at silver, you get a free copy of Cthulhu. So they have a whole Cthulhu soundtrack, as well as Fantasy Orc and Zombie Assault.
Jeez.
So you get 3 additional soundtracks and stuff to go with it.
Huh.
So totally worth it for that. If you are super music nerd, you can go even higher and get lots and lots more stuff.
There's one thing, just one small, simple thing, right, that I'll bring up, because sometimes we bring up things that, like, about a campaign where we're like, maybe advice, more or less, right? Like not to say that we're the experts or we know everything, but maybe a little bit of advice. So they've done 18 other campaigns, and I look, and I don't think any of their campaigns have had more than 1,000 backers or so, right? And that's really, really high. Most of them are, very low backer numbers. This campaign currently has 67 backers. They've been live for about 7 days as of this recording. There's one comment from me, because I backed today so that I could say, hey, we're going to talk about this tonight on Roll for Review.
There it is.
No one has commented on it, so no one is monitoring the comment section, because it's been 14 hours and the creator of this project has not looked at his comment section. There is one update the day after it launched and funded, where the person that funded, where they sent an update, said, hey, we funded less than 50 words, nothing else. Engage with your audience a bit more. Darkraven Games, they don't have a Twitter either. Like, I tried to find their Twitter so that we could give them a shout out on social media after we get this live on YouTube. No Twitter for Darkraven Games. Yeah, and so I feel like their community management could really use a little bit of help. I feel bad that the only comment is mine, and it went 14 hours, and the creator didn't say anything. And so
anyways, you got 24 backers who spent $60 on your product. I mean, I feel like that's a small enough, like dedicated enough community that you should really be able to get some engagement out of that, because that's a big commitment to spend that amount.
So, anyways, that's just my
Good
one
advice.
little thing I'm just gonna throw out there. It's just something that's like in the back, like nothing about the project, nothing about the creators. That obviously you're gonna get what you want. I have no doubt about that. They've been doing what they've been doing for a really long time. But in the back of my mind, it says maybe you could have twice as many backers if you were like, on social media and like
Be out
engaging
there
and trying to like build a community.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
important.
and you want raving fans. You want people who are telling everybody about you. And the only way to do that is to really engage with them.
You want Raven fans.
Raven fans. You can have that one for free. We'll give that to you for free, Raven.
So what would you what would be the role that you give this?
I give this a roll of 14. I really like the samples that I got are original and excellent. It's super useful. You get a ton of playtime out of it. It's a little expensive. I almost wish that I don't know if there's a way to do this or not, or if they would want this kind of thing, but having some kind of subscription base where you're constantly adding new soundtracks in different genres and stuff, to where I can just hop on and
it's updated.
Like find my thing. It's updated. I'm constantly getting new things. Take my $9 a month. Great.
A service.
A service. I feel like people are more willing to do a service than they are a straight amount of $59.
Agreed.
Especially for music. That's why my overall roll is a 14. Still solid. It's good. And obviously very useful, but it's not the level of some of the things, but still really cool, and I love it, and I would love to see more things like this. I desperately want more things like this.
Absolutely. All right, so I am going to be talking about something that I am super excited about, and I think a lot of other people are also very excited about. If you haven't heard about this yet, I'll be surprised, but this is Coyote and Crow, the role-playing game. And oh my god, it's a science fiction and fantasy tabletop RPG set in near future where the Americas were never colonized, and it's created fully by a team of natives.
Yes.
And that is so awesome to me.
I love it.
And join us as 3 white people pick apart this campaign.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Rude. Native.
No, honestly, this is so cool. So their goal was $18,000. They've already raised $556,000. They have 15 days to go. It's funded in 45 minutes. This is such an amazing idea. Not only is it important to show to represent, native culture. So that's what they really set out to do, but it also is bringing in people who are both, who are non-native will get the ability to learn a little bit more and engage with something where there's a native focus. And that was something they really set out to do, and that's really, really incredible. It's set in an alternate future where colonization never happened, like I said. An advanced civilization rose over hundreds of years, and then a massive climate disaster changed the history of the planet. So it's also starting to remind me of a little... Have you ever heard of Horizon Zero Dawn, the video game?
Mm-hmm.
So it reminds me a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn. That's what I'm getting, a little bit of that. It made it all the way to high, insane technological society, and then something like ended the world. It's
reset.
Super, super cool, beautiful artwork. A new chapter has begun. The ice sheets are retreating, the seas are calming, but what lay out beyond your borders? Treaties, alliances need to be formed, spirits and monsters. It's so cool. So the game,
cool.
It's an original role-playing system. So that's also, they're creating their own role-playing system, which is definitely difficult to do. But I think with this type of game, you needed to, because it is really circled around a specific role and a culture. So you shouldn't really be taking a culture-based game and putting it to another type of mechanic or another type of format. I think what they did is super smart by saying, this is our culture, this is our approach, and we are going to make and make a way to play this that fits that. So I think that was very, very smart. They're striving to present a system that will allow players to refer to the rulebook during play as little as possible. And I'm reading that specifically on their page. So they're making it easy for people to understand. The game is mainly built around the idea of fighting beyond only one road to story resolution. Game encourages dialogue, building bridges, and finding unique solutions.
As it
so
should.
it's not just about fighting, which is important. There's so much on this page, and there's so much that I don't want to take so much time just kind of going through every little thing, but I'll touch on a couple more things that are extremely important about this. There are 6 archetypes in the game. Each one has its own symbol for like warrior, tinker, scout, and then they have different paths they can follow down with have different animal spirits, and which are permanent associations they make with an animal and help define what extra human abilities they'll be able to choose from. So, for example, beaver, stag, spider. It's really, really cool, really, really interesting, and I think it's a very unique approach that is based on something that is extremely important. I think they also put forward, I mean, some of this art also is absolutely mind-blowing. But they've really stated what this game was for, how it can apply to everyone, how people can learn from it, and how people can enjoy it. And it also seems like a really amazing story and a really amazing game.
So
absolutely,
this game is very important, right? For a lot of different reasons. And I think one of the main reasons is right now in the gaming industry, colonialism and colonization is a big topic of discussion. There was a really great video that was put out by a channel called No Pun Included that does video game reviews, and they've also been doing some role-playing sessions. But they had an entire subject on the theme of colonial powers in board games. And it was a really interesting concept and a really good thing to read about and to listen to, kind of a very in-depth study on that. And I think one of the things that has come out of this is like in your typical fantasy D&D setting, most of the tropes that are built upon the bedrock of those settings is very much steeped in colonial and colonization.
Yes.
Because Tolkien, being of course from the UK and other people that have followed in his footsteps, there is a very specific, bent in the fact that like these are the things that are historically foundationally important to these cultures. And I think by taking that and dismantling it down to its core roots and rebuilding upon asking the question, what if colonization had never happened? And basing your entire system upon that is really good. Yeah. And I think it's a really good testament to the fact that like they have brought in as many Native American people to work on this book as they can. And you can even go down, with very, very small exceptions. Yeah. I think they found some very specialty people doing cartography and such that are not, and they list them specifically there. But 8,000 people are backing this.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, this Kickstarter page, there isn't a ton.
There isn't a ton,
right? It's really the community wanting this to exist.
Yes,
and it's doing very, very well. And I think it's because it is an important touchstone and an important conversation that's happening in the industry around this idea of colonization being a foundational thing in gaming. And I think it's really good that this is standing up as a counterpoint against a lot of those tropes.
And what is there, I can tell you, like immediately I latch on knowing those stories, knowing even Coyote and Crow, like right there, that immediately brings all the trickster stories to mind.
Yep.
All of those really important cultural stories. It's like, oh my gosh, yes. Like as soon as you said it, I was like, I know exactly what this is about. And I hadn't looked at the page yet. And the more that I look through it, the more I'm like, yes, you can tell that it is in the very foundations and framework of this game. And I could not be more excited about that.
Absolutely. So overall, and this is why I didn't give the previous one a 20, because this is too important, not only for all of the cultural things that we've already discussed, but also the way that they've approached this, not only in its planning and its storyline, but using that storyline to further address the mechanics of the game, as in it's got this meta of saying, it's like this meta experience of not only saying, okay, what if this story is if colonization never happened? No, what if the way you play it is as if colonization never happened, and then those people invented a game that you played, and these were the mechanics they come up with. Like, it's almost got this meta of that too. So I think this is super incredible, and I'm giving it the nat 20.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely. So after that, we are going to take another quick break to play a quick video about something that is very near and dear to our hearts, and we will be back in about 1 minute.
The Wanderer's Guide is a 50-page compendium designed to enhance your fantasy RPG campaigns. Immersive, beautiful maps and artwork by Andrew Bosley. Dry erase pages for quick editing and changes as your campaign evolves. An abundance of tokens to add more character, landmarks, features, and customization to your campaign. An interactive NPC system for adding lots of variety and plot hooks for the Game Master to engage the players. Artwork featuring fun details and story elements to enhance collaborative storytelling, world building, and spark the imagination of the players and the Game Master. The Wanderer's Guide. Your world, your adventure.
Hey, and welcome back to Roll for Review.
Stop it! Stop doing that.
Should we just do mouth noises into the mic? Just
Yeah.
this is now Roll for ASMR.
All right, guys. So we're going to take a look at our last 3 projects here. I am going to be talking about... We're going to get to it. Encyclopedia, lore book and toolbox for your 5e campaign.
I'm such a nerd because I'm so excited.
Level up your 5th edition campaign with this 360-page tome featuring dozens of ready-to-use cities, locations, NPCs, and magic items. This is from a company called Studio Agate, or Jim Searcy. I believe it's like a collaboration where they're known as one thing in the US and one thing in France. Every product that they release has like a French and a US version. English speaking. They put the American flag on it, so I don't know. Whatever that represents.
It's ours. It's fine.
Yeah. Like if you're Canadian, you cannot get this.
Nope. It's in American.
Yeah. So they have this collaboration, right? This is their 11th project. They have almost $400,000, well over 4,000 backers, on their way to 5,000 backers, doing exceptionally well. They've released a lot of really cool products that have done really well. I'm waiting on one to get delivered to me now. I backed their last campaign, which was like a giant monster manual project. This is a little bit different and a little bit weird, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So first of all, content. If you want content, this is the project to back, okay? 360 pages is no joke.
That's no joke.
Okay? And here's the thing. It's not 360 pages of a rule supplement or a core book for the system. It's 360 pages of just stuff. Right? Just stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Locations, plot hooks, magic items, NPCs, maps, all of this stuff. Do you know how much you have to spend time writing to get 360 pages of stuff like that? But here's the thing. It's not a cohesive thing. It's just ideas in a book, right? It's just this bunch of stuff. And I'm scrolling through this, and some of these images are absolutely
Incredible,
amazing. the Forbidden City, right? The Free Port, the capital. I can't pronounce a lot of these places.
I was gonna say, why didn't you say the name, Joe?
Yeah.
Cartacol?
Out of courtesy.
Whatever you want.
The City of Death. I really love that one.
You got that one.
Necropolis City. All of these different things are amazing. Just the artwork is so good. And they're like, and they tell you, they're like, we don't want to just be the same old, same old. They give you like a race of hobgoblins that are not warlike. They are like traders and very like financially focused, right? So they're giving you all of these ideas and all of these concepts and all of this amazing artwork. And they are just chalking this book so full of stuff. It is so many things. And there's a beautiful squirrel mini that you can get for whatever reason.
To have as a pet forever and ever.
There's
adorable.
I could go on and on about the things I love about this book.
There's a pig.
There's a pig.
But I need to talk a little bit.
Keep going. There's a pig.
I need to talk a little bit about some of my gripes.
Well, I need to talk about this pig, Joe.
All right. So we'll
Look
address
at him. He's so happy.
He is.
Okay, you can gripe. You can gripe.
But I feel like any STL without like really robust butt cheeks that like spin around is just like
it's gotta have the cake.
Gotta be thick.
Yeah, it's got to have some nice hams in a different
hams.
way. All right.
This is gonna be a thing now.
You are on fire tonight, sir.
All right.
Okay, what are your gripes?
On point.
Yeah.
Right. There's a cat with wings.
I've got some legitimate beef with this page, right? So here it is. Number one, for a company that has launched 11 products and has a lot of stuff that they've done before and are presenting everything with this much content, can you please have a video that like walks me through what this is? Like,
what would the video be? Like, we have this, and we have this, and you want this? We've got
right
this.
now. Well, right now, you have to read this entire.
You do have to read the whole thing.
There's a purpose behind a Kickstarter video, which is if my project is so complex you cannot understand fully what you're getting, watch this quick 90-second video and you will 100% understand. That's what I want to know. I want a 1 to 2 minute video that just says, here is what the product is. Just lay it out for me, say it really quickly, show me some pretty pictures, and just let me know, like, let the video help me make the decision on whether or not this is something I want to back.
That's
Number
fair.
two, and this is legitimately something that is frustrating to me. I hate
That's a
the
strong
name
word.
of this product.
Oh.
It is.
You don't like the encyclopedia?
They have named their product, and I'm not even kidding you. They have named their product Encyclopedia, which, like they didn't even call it. Like if you look at the book, it's not even like Encyclopedia, whatever. It says Encyclopedia from Urban Depths to Frozen Steppes. What the F?
It rhymes, Joe.
Great. I'm glad it rhymes. You're not getting a +1 off of rhymes. I'm sorry. unless you have a book unless the entire book rhymes, you're not getting a +1 from me for that. I want to understand why they could not did they not market test this at all with people being like, why is this called that would have been the first thing. If somebody presented this to me and said, let me know what you think, I would have been like, don't call it Encyclopedia. That is such a terrible
from a marketing standpoint, I would agree. It doesn't give your
from
product
a nerd standpoint. It's true. From a nerd standpoint, though, it makes my nerd feel good. I like.
Then call it Nerdcyclopedia.
We like encyclopedias, man.
It's just it doesn't give you. And again, they still made $375,000. But
Yeah, no,
if they
of
had
course.
probably named it something to give it a little bit more of a foothold in terms of, and I'm going to use some marketing terms
That's
here,
fair.
search
That's
engine
fair.
optimization, SEO, or certain keywords that they've named this product, it will allow them to then actually be picked up more by internet users. By then
And
allowing
So
people
let's
to
let's
visit the page.
brainstorm. What would
Well,
you call
no,
it?
here's the thing. If you scroll down their page, you can see their last product, which is something I backed and I'm waiting to get delivered to me, called, and it was a giant bestiary, right? A giant monster
Bestiary?
manual, and they
Oh, yeah.
called it Creatures, right? And that was so well understood, right? They called this product Encyclopedia, and to me, that does not make my brain jump to what they're trying to tell me. I personally, if they wanted to keep with something similar to the Creatures and then this, I would have called it Locations. Then you have Creatures.
It's not just locations, though.
Most of it
That's
is
why-
based upon locations, though. It's like the NPCs that you meet in the location, the magic items. Like you can have more stuff in
Like a
there
piggy.
than just locations. But like if you look at the page, most of what they're highlighting is the locations, right?
They got a
Like-
cookbook, though.
I feel personally like they did a little bit of. Anyways, I'm getting too much in the weeds.
Do we
on,
need
like,
to add a
things that are
Joe
just, like,
rant section of our
So
episodes?
apparently, I would disagree. I kind of like Encyclopedia because it has so many different things in it. I don't know if you could come up with another name that encompasses as much as it has magical items, it has familiars, it has a freaking, I don't know if you're seeing this, but I've been on the same GIF this entire time of this peacock phoenix cat that has glitter on it, and it just makes my soul very, very happy right now. It's one of the little minis that you
I
can
see
get.
it, yeah.
It has a cookbook. It has, I mean, there's a lot of just random stuff in here that Encyclopedia, I feel like that covers.
The product is very good. It's my own little personal thing where I'm like, why'd you call it Encyclopedia? I don't like it. Anyways, either way, this is awesome. The product is awesome. It looks great. It feels like you're going to get a lot of content. I mean, you're going to get a lot of content out of this. I have no idea how much is going to be in here. But obviously 360
insane.
pages worth of stuff. And basically, for the book, it's $40. You can't go wrong with that.
So good.
So low.
Basically, you're
Yeah.
getting, like, what is that? Less than a penny a page or something like that, or
Yeah,
a couple
that's
pennies
ridiculous.
per page of content. That's insane how much you're actually getting for the value that is being put into this book. And again, this is not a giant campaign setting. This is just a book of stuff. Just chock full of stuff.
What if they named it Book of
ideas.
Stuff?
There you go. I personally think that would have market tested a little bit better.
How is that better than Encyclopedia?
Hey,
It's just as vague.
anyways,
Oh,
I'm going to give this a roll, and I'm going to give it a 16. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 16. It's very good product.
If you take-
very solidly done. I just, like, give me a video, like if your product is so dense that I really need to, like, dig into, because, like, it took me like 2 times looking through this page to really get a concept of what this is until I realized, I'm like, oh, this is just a big book of stuff. Like, this is all it is. Like, there's nothing super cohesive about this book. It's just ideas. It's like everything.
Like an encyclopedia.
I'm giving it a 16, and we're going to move on to the next product.
Hearts.
But it's
Finger hearts.
Lycan. It's Lycan, which means something else already has that name.
Well, you know. Okay.
We'll move on. We'll move on.
Okay. All right. So mine is the Deck of Mini Quests. This is a really cool little resource for dungeon masters specifically. If you know anything, you know that I love giving resources for dungeon masters. So that's my last one that I picked. We're at 14,000. This one is one of the few ones that we're going to look at that has not reached its goal yet. Its goal is 20,000, and it's about 6,000 away from that. with 16 days to go. So should probably reach that. If you're watching this now, you have a chance to influence this one because it has not reached its goal yet. So Deck of Mini Quests is just a really cool way to build side quests, to build campaign quests, whatever you kind of need something extra adventure for. That's what this deck is designed to help you with. And they say that in this deck, there are over 200,000 unique quest combinations, which is incredible to think of. So here's how it works. It is incredibly simple. You start with the quest card. So you pull a quest card, and that quest card will give you the quest, but it will also tell you how many monster and item cards to pull, and that finishes out the whole quest. So you have it's really that simple, which is really cool. So you have that quest, then you have the monsters that your party's going to have to face, and the items that they're either going to get or have to find, one of the two, to complete it. And that's the whole thing. It's just a whole deck of those ideas that you can just kind of put together in those ways. It's not system reliant. It works for any RPG. So no matter what you're playing, this can give you an idea for it, which I think is really, really cool. And the next part that's really, really cool is that they actually rate it in a star system based on difficulty. So if you wanted to, you can sort out the difficulties for each of those little decks of cards, and you can create easy quest encounters, and you can create medium or difficult ones. Or you can mix them all together for a mismatch of it. Which, I mean, this is just really useful and fun. And even if you don't use the quest that you actually create, how many awesome ideas would this give you for things? To pull those cards out and look at them, go, oh, okay, I'm going to tweak this. I'm going to use this element from whatever game it is that I'm playing, or this element or NPC that I already have in my world. It's just a really, really cool and incredible resource for DMs.
I'm in a mean mood. I don't know why. I'm in a very mean mood, right?
Are you serious?
Show me your 10 best cards. Why are all of the cards at such an angle where I can't even read what's on them on the page? And take your 10 best cards and put them on the page. Because I look at this and I say, okay, show me what I'm getting. Not show me that there's 200 cards in a box. Show me your 10 best. Alex had a very similar project that he reviewed not too long ago. Alex, if you remember, it was just like a deck of just like random cards. But they showed like 10 cards, and they showed like a really cool one and a funny one. There was one that was like just a cat. Like you just put a cat in your campaign. It was like a deck of ideas, right? And it was just like you pull it and you put it in your campaign. And one was like a cat. And it was, like the description is like, it's just a cat, right? And I was like, oh, that's fun. Because if you're the DM and you pull that card, you're like, okay, I'm going to put a cat, and like my players are really going to think that this cat means something to plot, but it's just a cat, right?
It's just a cat,
This says it's going to do something, but it does not show me what I'm getting or what the level of work. Like if they're working on this, they should have a bunch of these already ready to show. I'm not asking to see the whole deck, but I'm asking to see like your 10 to 20 best. Like, give me your best foot forward, but I'm seeing no content at all. And I want to see some content.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of that. Side note, viewers, this is why we normally start at 7:30 before Joe gets cranky because he hasn't gone to sleep yet.
Joe's getting cranky.
It's like we fed the gremlin after midnight.
Encyclopedia really messed with you, man.
I did. Apparently.
Look, I'm not mad. I think this is a great project. I'm just I want to see some content on your page.
That would be an excellent way. That would be an excellent way to probably get to your goal faster, is to create that and build that confidence by doing it that way, for sure. Because right now it is kind of a gamble if you like them, how useful that they will be. However, it's not a very big gamble because you can get one deck of mini quests for $20. So
That's
you're not looking. Yeah, it's 200 cards. There's got to be something good in there. You know what I mean? Like I've spent $20 on dumber stuff than that. So I definitely think that that's a good way to do that. You can get for just $2 more. You can also get the PDF. So if you want it a little bit quicker, you want the PDF version that you can just have. $22 gets you both of them, which if you like digital, like storing things digitally and you're a digital DM, then I don't see any reason why you wouldn't spend $2 more to get that just to have a digital.
Sure.
But that's it. That's all that this is. They've got coasters.
Coasters, why not? They hold dice,
Yeah,
right?
coasters. Yeah, they're coasters that hold dice. They do have their 3 decks: your item, your quest, and your monster
Just a
deck.
little
Pictures
add-on.
on there.
Little fun
Little
add-on.
add-on. Yep.
Alrighty.
But that's literally all. It's just those.
And
Well, with the roll.
My roll for that, I don't remember, but I feel like it just. I feel like we're gonna give it a 15. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna give it a right in this moment. I feel like it's a 15.
all right.
Solid.
Yep.
Solid.
Yeah.
All right, Alex is literally
I'm so excited
jumping
for this.
out of his pants.
Here we go. All right. Yeah,
I
so
don't think that's the term. Okay.
I again am the resident dice gremlin. I am the dice goblin,
Yep.
the dice gremlin, whatever it is. I love dice. I love new types of dice. I love really unique dice. And boy, oh boy, I love dice that make over $2 million on Kickstarter.
Oh my
Because
gosh,
Pixels,
that's crazy.
the electronic dice, a set of smart light-up dice, completely customizable, and ready
That's
to
amazing.
take your D&D or tabletop game to the next level. These
Oh, yeah.
are incredible. Their goal was $200,000. They've raised over $2 million.
It's a party and a dice. How could you not raise $2 million?
And in the comment, Brandon Dow is telling us that he is also one of those people that have backed this. This is really, really cool. And if you look through this page, they are so cool, so unique, and you can customize them. Depending on the design, you select the LED lights will either shine through the entire face, or you can have them just shine through the numbers. But the technology is so cool. They've managed to design these to be wirelessly charging.
What?
They wirelessly charge.
What?
They are waterproof.
So I need to really
What?
quickly interrupt you, Alex. I collect all of the projects and put them into a spreadsheet. And I actually did not even put this into the spreadsheet before I just sent it to the group and said, hey guys, here's the project for Alex. Because if there's two things Alex loves dice and
Yep.
Alex loves technology.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I
this
think
was
you
like-
literally just in all caps went Alex.
Yep, he did.
yeah. It was hilarious.
So this was absolutely so cool. They actually tested the balance of all of these, because that was going to be the question that everyone was going to ask, and they were going to ask it. What is the balance? And they actually have a full graph that says exactly the frequency of rolls and how balanced they are.
That's the way to do it, because we've asked that about other dice things before.
They are more balanced than Chessex dice.
I don't know what that means, but
So
that's awesome.
Chessex is another brand of dice that normally you find. You go to your local game store, you grab a set of dice. Chessex, it's a different brand.
If you've ever seen like the set, like the little clear plastic like case that's like a
Tube thing?
rectangle,
Yeah.
it just those
Oh,
are
yeah.
all Chessex dice. Yeah.
So
Okay.
There's a
So the
companion
standard.
app
So
for these guys.
it's more random.
there's a companion app that allows you to hook up to them via
What?
Bluetooth. Okay.
What?
And customize them.
Oh my god.
How cool is that?
Oh my god.
And so they're figuring out that other dice or that other apps will be able to talk directly to the dice too. So can you imagine that in like Roll20 or D&D Beyond or anything like that, if they figure out in the future that when you roll this, you choose one of your spells and it knows you're rolling like magic missile and it lights up based on the spell you're casting.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Like, how cool is that it can in the future talk with different platforms?
Or you could put in that you're doing death saving throws.
Yes.
And then if it's a success, it's like one color and a failure's another.
Exactly. So there's huge potential to create full immersion with the dice. I think this is super, super cool.
It is incredibly cool.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. They are definitely more expensive, but honestly, $39 for one die is kind of what you would expect. I would probably expect around the $30 range, 30 to 40 makes sense. For me, this is probably one where I would buy one, and this is usually the case for kind of my custom dice Kickstarters that I show off. Unless you really want a whole set, you're gonna be rolling your D20 the most. That is gonna be what you are definitely, obviously rolling the most. So using that one as like your unique die, I think is super cool.
I want a fireball set.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love that there's a set just for rolling the spell fireball.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of D6.
That'd be red and explodey looking. Heck yes.
Look, I mean, there's the wireless charging case that looks like it looks like the AirPods case. It's oh my god, it's got a to-go case, a wireless case. They're fully customizable. They have profiles. It's completely open source. Honestly, guys, this is super, super cool. And Brandon in the comments is saying, before Pixel Dice, I used to want other LED dice, but now I'm seeing this. And I honestly would agree, because you would see stuff that you could roll and lights up. It kind of reminds you of those things you find at like the dollar store where you roll it and it's like, oh, it's a bouncy ball and it rolls. This is like next level, wirelessly charging, customizable, can work to the integrations of your actual campaign and can be adding on to the amazing immersion of your campaign. So these are really, really cool.
So cool.
There's like 100 people spending $1,000 on this
yes,
campaign.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I completely am not surprised.
No.
So I think these are absolutely
I am not
incredible.
one of them. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm not one of them.
Yet.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give this a roll. I am giving this because of how unique they are. They are very unique. They are very niche. You one, have to be a dice goblin. Two, you have to really want to take this step, because a lot of people like the more analog, really cool carved dice. They don't really want it to be that futuristic. That might not be the case. So I'm going to give this a base roll of 17. Okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to give this a +1 for amazing creativity, because this is super cool, and another +1 for sheer technological genius.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Here's one thing I will say. I think if you're a player, this is awesome. I think if you're a player, having some dice like this is really, really cool. For me, I'm a dungeon master, and I just need this giant pile of dice to grab stuff out of, because I've got 5 monsters doing different spells and all of these different things, and just I have 5 D20s on my different little character monster cards. It's like, for a DM, I don't think that this works very well, because you
could make them roll a die for a specific thing.
No, as a DM, I would have one of these, the D20, and that would be my big bad end boss. That's his dice, and it would change colors based on the campaign, based on the boss. Really cool.
And
that would be what it is.
In person, you can have a dice table that's on in front of everyone, so everyone can see it.
If you do play in person, it would be really cool for your players to oh man, shit's about to go down, because Hannah done pulled out the $100 dice.
Oh yeah,
we're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So
watch out.
Well, those are all of our projects, and I think this, again, Joe, as you said in the beginning, this was a really difficult week in terms of there were so many really amazing projects to choose from. But now we've reached our point in our episode where it is time for fun and fine.
Jazz hands.
This is where we've scoured the internet to find some really, really cool TTRPG related, fun stuff, just cool
Random goodies.
little goodies. Something that we just want to quickly talk about or touch on. Joe, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk
hate
about
you.
fun finds. Fun finds. Today I want to highlight a creator, somebody who is, if you've been, playing role-playing games and you're involved on social media for a little bit, you've probably come across this stuff, even if you didn't know it's his stuff. But I want to talk about Ross, who is better known as 2 Minute Tabletop. Okay? 2 Minute
Yes.
Tabletop is a creator who makes maps and character tokens and spell effects and all kinds of stuff like that. Mostly people know him for his battle maps. He has a very, I want to almost say like Miyazaki-esque style. Like he has a very almost like Ghibli-esque style to the way he draws his artwork. And it's very alive and very beautiful and very vibrant, and it feels very good. And I have been recently purchasing some maps. He has a lot of like pay what you want maps that you can just go on there, pay for $1, get the PDF, upload it to Roll20, whatever you want to do there, token pack, stuff like that. Really, really great. You can actually go on his website and he has a get everything he has ever made. Every map, every token, everything that he has ever made for like $70, right? Like just incredible value for what you get with Ross. 2 Minute Tabletop. I wanted to just kind of highlight this, let you know that if you are a dungeon master like me, I do play digitally. I am always looking for a battle map. In fact, my players are about to like break into a like vampire lair next session. And I had to find a map for like, what do I want this to look like? What do I want this to feel like? I actually headed over to 2 Minute Tabletop. I took a look through his battle maps. I found one that was like, oh, this is really, really great. I like the way this is laid out. I can put a lot of encounters into this one map. And I just took that map, paid him $1 for it, put it up on Roll20. It's ready to go for Thursday night. I seriously think that like you should have a couple of like websites like Ross's 2 Minute Tabletop bookmarked on one of your tabs for your computer to just like go through, peruse, look for their stuff, and support people that are working really hard in the industry, making amazing content. Also, I'm probably gonna like take a dive and buy a bunch of his token packs this week because I've been using just like the standard free stuff that Roll20 has for several months now, and I really hate the way all of the characters look in that. And I want everyone to be able to like look like a. I want everyone to like look like a cool Dragonborn or look like a cool Tiefling. So that is going to be. That's going to be one of the things that I probably do for my next session. So just wanted to highlight a really cool creator. Go to 2 Minute Tabletop, bookmark his page, look through his maps when you have some time, buy a couple off of him. I think it's going to be great and up your game. Don't just play on a white background. Spend $1 and play on a really beautiful map.
Splurge. Treat yourself.
That's right.
All right, mine feels woefully inadequate after that amazing pitch for an amazing creator. I've also used him and love his maps and the things that he does. It's one of my back pocket kind of things for panic times. 100% great. But mine's from Etsy, and it made me smile, and I thought it might make you smile, and it's a great little addition to any gaming room or a gift for any player or dungeon master. Always looking for fun little gifts, and it's In Case of Dragons Break Glass, and it has the set of dice in it. I thought it was super cute. There's a bunch of different colors. So if you're looking for it's $25 if you're looking for a neat little gift for a D&D player. I guarantee that they will love this one. This one's adorable. I always love these breaking case of signs. I have one that has coffee beans on it. Like it's just filled with coffee beans and it says break in case of emergency. Yeah. So
does
love stuff like that.
Does anyone have something like I know we're all geeks and we have lots of stuff in our house, but is there anything like you're particularly like think is like a really cool like thing that you just like have in your house? It's just like a weird random like thing. like this that when people come over, they just kind of like look at and like?
I have.
Oh boy, you should have asked me that question.
I was gonna say I made these and people really like them. They're potion bottles.
Ooh.
That then I put potions of healing cocktails in. Those are a winner. I like to show those off.
We have one of those magnetic letter boards, right? One of those like magnetic letter boards.
Yeah.
And I like to just like randomly put like rap lyrics on it from like Run the Jewel songs, and I'll just like write out like some like really obscene rap lyrics or something like that. Like I think like
it seemed like deep and meaningful or something.
Like people expect like walk over and think like it says like some quote or something like live every day to your fullest. And I think like right now it says like colder than some penguin pussy on a polar cap peninsula, which is like a song from like Run the Jewels, or just like a lyric in like just a lyric in Run the Jewels. And so like I just love when people like walk in and just like walk over to that and then read it, and then they're just like, what?
Or as the comments say, I like big dragons and I cannot lie.
Yeah.
Other nights can't deny.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, yes. I love that.
So mine is definitely my office, my entire office. So I have gotten a following on TikTok, actually. I'm almost at 25,000 followers. And it is filled with, obviously, Disney memorabilia. But there are hidden NFC cards that if I scan with my phone will actually play music, change lights, and trigger projections on my walls to do full immersive video. So for example, I can scan, let's see, for example, I can scan my Pirates of my Space Mountain poster, and it will change the lights.
Woo!
And it will play music.
Well done. That is cool.
It does that throughout my entire office.
Well, this little sign is not that, but
it can be.
It is it could be, we can put lights behind it. It could be a part of your whole setup, and it could be something just really fun and cute to decorate. Yeah. I love the smaller sizes because you can put them on bookcases. You don't have to hang them on the wall if you want to. And so I just thought it was super fun, and it made me smile. Just like you did the Lunch Break Heroes. You made me smile with that D&D lyrics. That was great. So, yeah, that's mine.
Awesome. And to end it off, I'm going to show another Etsy page, but it really is more of, it has triggered me to come up with an idea. And this is, as we move into more in-person, I want to start doing some DMing. And I'm going to ask for some insight from you guys. I want to learn because I have friends who really want to play, and I would love to start doing it. And once we start to game in person, a lot of these people are actually in the city, in Chicago, where I am from. So they will most likely start to come here. Once things start to be safe. So this is a digital map case for D&D for a screen. And I am going to make one. I've decided I'm going to make one. But this has me thinking about a new product that I think we can do, sponsored by Roll for Review. What if we made, and I'm going to pose this out to the ether here, a digital map case that had a frame that had removable topographic shells. So you can have ones that have rock, you can have shells that have like underwater, you can have shells that have plains, you can have shells, so you can even potentially mix and match pieces that have different pieces of landscape to merge it onto your overall table to match the session that you are in. That's what had me thinking. That is my fun find. I think this is super cool. I think it opens up some really interesting tech ideas. That is my fun find for the day, and I will leave it at that.
Love it. That's pretty cool.
Hey, thanks
that's interesting.
Everybody out there for joining us for Roll for Review tonight.
Yeah,
I'm leaving now. I'm leaving.
It's been a real flight.
I'm not doing it anymore, guys.
All right.
I'm not doing it. I'm leaving.
Been a pleasure. This episode, if you missed any parts of it, will be on our YouTube channel, Roll for Review, tomorrow. So definitely check out the rest of the video if you missed any part of this stream. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in another 2 weeks. We stream every other week at 7:30 Central. And except tonight we were a little bit later. But thank you so much for stopping by. This has been Roll for Review.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.